Driving through Portland, Oregon, it's clear this city is unlike any on tour. Tucked away in the heart of the Pacific Northwest, the Rose City is a melting pot of culture and proudly unique in all aspects of life. So it comes as no surprise that the Stumptown disc golf scene is similarly one of a kind. Adding to this singularity, Portland is home to one of the few Elite Plus events of the year. With more points at stake, it's a chance for the outliers to make their push in the standings. Rain or shine, life and disc golf in Portland moves on. We hope you'll join us all week long. The 2024 Portland Open starts now. Hello and welcome to round one coverage of the 2024 Portland Open presented by Latitude 64. You're watching the Disc Golf Pro Tour on JomezPro with Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri.
A beautiful day in Portland as we approach this 4-round Elite Series Plus event. First 2 rounds being at the West Course. The next 2 rounds will be on the East Course with a cut coming after the 3rd round. And we have a spectacular card today. The former champion of the event, Adam Hammes, winning in just dramatic fashion last year in an awesome one-hole playoff against Aaron Gossage, shooting only 2 under round 1 and really fighting his way back last year. Incredible comeback for him. We've got Latitude 64 sponsored Linus Carlsson. Always a joy to watch him. Calvin Heimburg, hottest player on the planet right now, #1 ranked player in both the power rankings and the other one. I forget the other one, what it's called, but he is the indisputed #1 player in the world, undisputed #1 player. And Gannon Buhr, #1 in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings right now in the season, overtaking Anthony Brella just last week at the OTB Open.
Yeah, fantastic players, but they're going to be challenged on this course. Starting off with a really tough one. Hole 1, par 4, 741. This would be considered one of the easier holes on the course if it's not too windy. Throw the sidearm or turnover out of the gap, short of these bunkers, and then you're going to have a really technical shot into the green. You got to cover this bunker, miss this green. Don't go deep. There's another bunker. A little spot just short and right is the landing zone that these guys are going to want to take.
Your reigning Portland Open champion, also the winner of his first his first tournament victory in MA2 Intermediate, the 2013 Northwoods Open at Sandy Point. Yeah, out of McNaughton, Wisconsin. Put your hands together for Adam Hammes.
The announcer giving everyone their first tournament victory. Out here just always bringing so much energy.
I think he just does random tournament wins.
Yeah. Somebody was telling me he was doing first.
Some of them, yes.
He hit me with his final MA1 victory came in 2004.
Okay. All right. Out of bounds tee shot for Adam. Doesn't get the drive turned over enough.
Safety Harbor, Florida. His first professional victory was the 2014 21st Annual Sizzler Open. Give it up for Calvin Heimburg.
See if Calvin's able to make the correction and keeping the disc moving right.
Probably the toughest win you can have on this hole, honestly. Right to left head cross. That's
not going to allow to keep the height quite as much as you might want.
And this has got a good angle, but you can see it's just kind of getting turfed over. Good shot for Calvin. Decent position.
The 2020 Black Friday Flurry in Des Moines, Iowa. Out of Urbandale, Iowa. Give it up for Gannon Buhr.
It's actually coming in as the 4th most difficult hole on the course today due to the difficult wind.
I believe it. If the wind switches, though, it becomes, I really feel like one of the easier holes on the course.
Overturned just like Calvin's, but a lot of distance off the tee.
Out of Borlauch, Sweden, the junior boy champion of the 2017 360 Open, Linus Carlsson.
Never know what he's going to say.
Linus looks like he's jacked
He's fit.
this year.
Yes.
Like, he got bigger this year.
Oh, this needs to be quite understable. Very common mistake on hole 1, just not quite committing to that turnover and fading out of bounds early. And that's going to be out of bounds really close to where Adam Hammes went out of bounds as well.
Really hard to hit the sweet spot. You either turf it to the right or it just goes left. I was really surprised that Adam didn't go sidearm off the tee. With his distance,
Yeah.
I think 2 of those could have worked pretty well, but that's a great recovery shot.
Linus would love to match that. Essentially the same exact lie. This one's just not going to quite get there. Well,
Not that far off.
just looked a little, it didn't look like it had enough of that forward. Like Adam got his to flip up and fly straight, but a decent effort there from Linus. These drives get over a little bit too far right and actually cuts off the angle that Calvin would like to have going into the screen.
Well, not throwing the sidearm's going to hurt him there. Like, even Gannon's going to just go to a knee so he could try to hit the sidearm.
A great result for Gannon.
I mean, what a drive. To be down on one knee throwing a forehand on this hole. That's incredible.
And that's just a little bit too far to give that run the power it needs without fear of going out of bounds long.
I think one of the hardest things about this hole for me, I don't know about for these guys, is Calvin just barely misses. I can keep about 3 bunkers in my brain at any given time. And there's a 4th one. You know, so where am I trying to miss? And wherever I try to miss, there's another bunker.
That's a good par save for Adam. Probably in the 350 range after going out of bounds to the pin.
I would think at least. Yeah. That was a nice shot.
Good birdie there for Gannon to start his round.
Very surprised that it's the 4th hardest. Honestly.
Yep, playing.
People just getting aggressive, I feel like really playing aggressive.
Potentially just enough nervy tee shots too. You just get enough OBs on that backside. That can turn to a 6 really fast if you find the sand on the second.
Playing a 4.14 average.
And not playing really in these conditions.
Nate Sexton leading the way.
Wow.
I'm guessing that's by lowest PDGA number.
When you're hot, you know?
Yeah, awesome.
Hole 2, par 3, 460, slightly downhill here. Gap on the right side is narrow, but backhand is definitely there. There's OB on all sides on this pin. If you have a huge forehand or you're proficient with the roller, think about lay that down maybe. You can get there, but this is I feel kind of a bonus birdie at 460 feet.
I just feel like there's so many holes in this course that play as bonus birdies, this being one of them.
I felt like that too, and then Parker Welk just threw it up there, and then Bresnell threw the backhand in the circle, and then Taylor threw the backhand in the circle, and I was like, oh, so this is one you got to get. Gannon,
this is
though,
wide.
lucky to come back inbounds.
He did not.
Doesn't. Wow.
Ended up about 6 inches out of bounds. Did not skip back in.
A big mistake because it's not like he even really has the distance.
No, he wasn't. That was like an aggressive layup. Like you know that you either have to send it all to give yourself an outside chance of making a long putt for birdie like Adam has here, or you just pitch up around the corner. There's no point in going the 100 feet short as opposed to 150 feet short.
And this better be understable, otherwise he's okay.
And it just lands in the middle of the fairway. That's effectively a good layup.
Yeah, he hit those branches, otherwise I don't think that was staying in.
Oh, you think it would find OB left?
Yes.
Okay. And this is what you need to do for the layup, I think.
As long as it gets to the ground, it should. Well,
yeah, maybe it was heading a little bit too right.
Got to be a little bit of a windy day at times, more than I expected, more than I felt on the practice range. And it was really swirly too.
Well
Great
done.
control there, but you couldn't count on any kind of consistent direction. Certainly windier than average for the Portland area.
A little short there for Linus on his approach.
Ooh, here's a sidearm.
He's throwing more of them. It's just not, he doesn't want to throw the 370.
That looked like a power sidearm to me right there. A little deep there, big guy.
Nearly got a little metal.
Adam an opportunity for a big bonus birdie. That's just going to sail left. Clean up on aisle 2.
Yeah, you see a lot of star pars on this hole.
Not going to see one this time, unfortunately, with Gannon taking the early bogey. It is a hole that nets a ton. 61% of the field taking the par on hole 2. Still, it netted about the same number of birdies as hole 1.
Wow. That's more than I would think, for
Same.
sure.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be hesitant to say this is one of the easier holes now that I got crushed by hole 1, 387 under the limbs. Really a flex play. Get around this branch right here, swing it back left. Anything by this big tree to the right here by the basket is a really good shot. This one's tough to park. You can fit a straight hyzer like Adam's trying to do, but then that branch comes in the way. Let's see if we can sneak it in there. Oh, yeah.
That's
wow.
Great result.
Yeah.
Great throw, great result. There are 7 holes easier than hole 3.
Okay.
It's right in the middle, number 8.
Could be a little Halo boss.
Yeah, the Champ Halo boss, it is. Going deep. Have about 40 some feet coming back. Elevated basket. Linus just driving the low one, trying to get a skip.
Wow.
I like it. Oh, short. Okay.
Still decent effort. Going to be looking at a birdie. So one of those courses that just seems to produce C2 putt after C2 putt over and over again with good drives too.
Oh, last one he had to beat and a bad roll as well. That's probably going to leave him 50 feet to the elevated basket, maybe more.
It was a really slow skip off the grass too. It seemed like the disc had more steam heading into the ground. And as soon as it hit the grass, it just really took all the steam out of it.
Those are the worst too. And then you square the tree up, but then it rolls in line with the tree in the basket. Oh, baby.
What a putt.
Nice looking putt.
Kind of just floated right in there, didn't it?
No doubt about that one.
I was going to say with Gannon, especially with somebody with his skills, because you got to think that big tree's not in the way. He's got a pretty good chance to draw middle.
Yes,
from way out there.
absolutely. .40-footer here for birdie.
Decent height just off to the right side. Perhaps a little low as well, but...
Yeah, so bad height and bad...
I think the height was right. That it looked weird from that angle.
Great birdie from Adam.
Only birdie on the card as Gannon cleans up his par.
Well,
Didn't Linus make
Oh,
a birdie?
Linus, I'm so sorry. discounting Linus's awesome putt. My bad.
On to hole 4, short par 4, 485 feet. Probably going to tempt the fellows playing in this group. Any OB goes to a drop zone about 200 feet away on the right side of this lake. Obviously, you got sand, you got OB green, you got OB water. There is a layup play. You probably have about 250 feet to work with off the tee if you want to split the hole in half. But I think we're going to see some aggressive shots. Needs to
keep lifting.
Get over the green potentially.
Yeah,
I think that's the intention of the play. I like the play too. There's a lot of room left to just play the big power shot instead of having to play the layup. Just power one over the green or left of the green. That's certainly in play as well.
Can be a little bit annoying when you put it right on that little downslope. Change your footing up a bit, but still very manageable.
Look at the width Calvin trusts that driver with.
Wow, and beyond everything.
Out to about 50 feet.
Great shot.
Be a scary eagle look coming.
A little bit of turn on this thing.
This thing is moving long. If this clears the water, it's going to be pretty deep at the basket.
Whoa. I have not seen anyone over there.
And there's OB long there that I wonder if they have to like worry about.
Needs to sit soft.
Not too soft,
Yeah,
though.
wow, almost too soft.
These greens, man. It's so interesting how when a disc is coming in with speed, it just seems to gobble up everything. And you see it sometimes just Velcro the disc right in place.
What the heck?
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was like gunning
Yeah,
at it.
that looked the same to me.
Oh, he's got tree problems again. Oh,
Wow.
So good.
the knee 55 footer up the hill around the branches.
To
Never
me,
thought of that.
just preliminarily feels like a top 25 putt of the season. That was nasty. Whoa.
I haven't made a putt that good yet in my life.
That just seems so nonchalant.
I think I'm pretty
Had
sure
a
I'd have
straddle
to throw
left
it.
of the solar panel and then hyzer around the tree.
And there's a pond right below the basket.
Yeah.
And you're putting on hyzer. I mean, that was awesome.
Calvin wasn't afforded the same opportunity with the water directly behind the basket. At least Gannon had a little bit of greenery around the basket that he could play with slightly. But I mean, if he airballs that on the short side of the basket, you're right. That could just easily roll in the water. OB.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I'm capable of making a putt that good. I just haven't done it in the first 25 years. But I know that I can. I'm not trying to say that I don't have those kind of skills.
I believe in you.
I could see you going over there and doing a little sidearm Annie, floaty bid.
Could happen, but it wouldn't match what we just saw from Gannon Buhr for the eagle.
No.
Corey Ellis and Andrew Miranda, 4 under through 4. Andrew with the big eagle.
That is
on hole 4.
That is such an incredible start to be 4 under through 4 on this course.
5 through 5 though, good luck.
Yeah, for sure.
420 plays a little bit farther because I think it goes uphill at first. So just depending on the angle that you throw it on. But you have a Mando on the right that makes this gap really tight. You'll see a lot of sidearms if you have the power, and then some rollers, some late turning backhands.
Mm-hmm.
But this hole really keeps you honest with you have to just throw a fantastic shot to get any sort of look.
Gannon pushing that ceiling as much as it could possibly be thrown, and ends up just outside C1. That's a really good result.
Yeah, is that just a gimme after the last putt?
It has to be.
Yeah.
A lot of flip here. This could be heading towards the
just
rough.
Overturned. And that sets up a pretty difficult approach.
I think this green is the most dangerous type of slope where it's not enough to ever make you think, oh, I should be worried about a rollaway. But it's definitely enough to make your disc roll. Mm-hmm. And it can be a risky spot, I think, where players sort of go in there, oh, I'll bid it, and then you don't know it's probably going to bite you if you make that mistake.
This is so good from Calvin.
Calvin just burning over the eagle as he does, hits a gap with speed and just lets the ground just let the disc do what it's supposed to do.
I feel like the turn that you have to make is actually like far. It says 420, but I feel like this in distance is probably a little farther. And the turn that you have to get with a righty backhand to get past those trees has to be like 280.
Yeah, late.
Yeah.
For the speed of disc it's going to take.
Adam jump putting his approach, leaving it still about 27 feet short.
And this was a poor shot from Linus, this approach. Can he save it? Yes, he can.
That's a great putt.
Stepping up. Great par.
Nice putts now on 3 and 5.
Yeah, that's 2 outside the circles.
Mm-hmm. To me, that is a big statistic this week. C2 putting is going to be a big difference maker, I believe, in who wins this tournament.
Yeah, gimme.
Absolute gimme.
Well, I mean, especially for someone who likes to step putt, just being outside the circle is just such a treat.
Oh, what a nice guy. Let me stop those chains from wiggling for you, Adam. And that kind of just dropped, too.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough putt. The basket was effectively below his feet from where he was standing, inside the circle, too.
Maybe he should have kicked it in. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you could try anything. Be better than a miss.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd take a redo.
Yeah, take a redo with a kick. We'll see what happens. Nice birdie for Calvin.
Great shape on that drive.
Makes me rethink like what a forehand hole really is when I see Calvin throw his eagle. Like, is this actually a forehand hole or is it a Calvin Heimburg eagle turnover? And oftentimes it's a Calvin Heimburg eagle turnover.
They might be the same thing.
Yeah, I think they might be.
Is this the longest hole in the world?
It plays almost like it. Yeah, I mean, it's 1180 uphill for a significant portion of it. Maybe a third of the hole is just straight uphill. Maybe more.
How long? I mean, it's got to play 1,300.
I think so. Like 13. When I was playing it today, I was thinking if I had to throw a backhand as hard as I could with the best shot possible, they could only move the basket back about 80 feet. And then that's still in range, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I see.
So like
in
perfect
range in
shot.
3
yeah,
perfect
so like
shots.
perfect shot, perfect
Like
shot, perfect shot.
You have like, you can miss perfect by like 20 feet per shot and still have a chance. But as we all know, you know, missing perfect by 20 feet happens way more often than not when you're going out at the edge of what you're capable of.
Wow.
Calvin's not missing it by much.
Oh my gosh, full flight on that one.
Calvin caught most of it there.
Wow, that was really nicely done.
I feel like that actually changes this hole into being so easy now. Like he's going to be able to throw it to the top, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, big tee shot is huge
And if you
on
can
hole
get
6.
if you can get to the flat up there, easy.
Yes.
It's like the easiest shot ever. Little turnover, a little low ceiling, I guess. Not the easiest shot ever, but for how hard and difficult this hole is, definitely the easiest shot.
Oh, Adam, that was good distance, but hyzering back into the tree line is going to make his approach shot pretty much forcing the issue on what shape he's going to be allowed to throw.
Look at the disc of Calvin just way up there on the right.
This one's lifting. What a great lift.
And he's like midway up the hill. Maybe most of the way up the hill.
Maybe most.
I think I like where he's at.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's just such a monster hill to climb.
I do see people turn it over, and then it challenges this Mando over here on the right. Which, see, there it is.
Yeah, right
Most
next
of the
to
way
it.
up the hill.
Right next to the Mando tree. So he might be kind of obstructed from there.
That's pretty good commitment from there.
Yeah, forcing him to go the hyzer flip. A lot of players want to get that big high turning shot to get the height right, and then just hope that the disc can just pan out and get that full flight. But forcing the hyzer flip, I think Adam's done a really good job from there.
This is going to be, for sure, farther than anything we've ever seen, right? On this hole?
Yeah.
Wow.
Except for one Anthony Barella who had an 80-foot putt for eagle earlier. But yes.
Well, we didn't see that.
No, we didn't see that, but it happened, and it was crazy. He almost made the putt for eagle.
That's insane.
It's hard to even really believe.
Well, we just have to take your word for it, which,
That's fair. I'd have said the same thing about you. Linus, that's a good roller attempt from there. He's right there at edge of circle.
Look where Adam got.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, very well played through the first two. And I like that he chops over the forehand approach to avoid the skip on the green and leaves himself about 18 feet.
So a little bit of low ceiling over here. Not quite as obstructed as I feared for Gannon. I'm going to skip around edge of the circle, maybe a little outside.
His
Appears
spot.
to be. Yep. That'll do. That is so easy for him.
Ooh, a little outside, just outside. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Outside, outside, just outside.
Oh
yeah, I
my
do know what you mean.
Ah, it's just too
Yeah, you know,
easy.
you were talking about the circle 2 statistic being probably the most important on this course for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And Gannon makes a lot of those circle 2 things.
Yes, he does.
So does this guy.
So
Wow.
does Linus now.
Is that a star, Birdie?
3 of the last 4 holes. Linus outside the circle.
If Adam makes it,
Sure would be.
wow.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Sure would be. And putting mishap on 2 holes in a row now for Adam.
Can't let those get away on this course. When you get in the circle, deep into the circle, gotta make them for the bird.
It just stresses you out so much more on this course, in my experience, because the opportunities are few and far between. Like on most courses, you miss a little putt, you're like, I'll get it back next hole. And out here, you don't often feel that way. Hole 7, par 3, 360, shortened by 80, 90 feet maybe from what we played last year. Same basket position, just a shorter tee. I like the change. Makes it a little bit more manageable as a par 3. It's still blind from the tee, but you can go backhand mid, backhand fairway, forehand flex. Just got to make sure you throw enough distance on it to clear the bunkers.
Stable mid-range here for Gannon, and that's really good.
Oh, the tree limbs helping knock down the drive basically inside bullseye.
You think without that it was too much heat?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it had good touch on it, but that was certainly a great result. We'll never know.
Well, this looks similar. So now we know.
Yeah, it looks very similar to that. You're right. Yeah, I think Gannon would have been a little bit closer than.
Okay.
Probably more overstable disc if I know Gannon's preferences.
This is quite left. And it is actually so bad it's good again. It's back to pretty safe par coming.
Shoot, with the way he's been putting, he might give that a little bidski.
Yeah. And now that he's putting over the bunker, there's really no reason not to give it an effort.
Yeah, just a tiny slope behind it, but nothing really worth worrying about. This one's going to be a little harder because this is going to putt directly at the sand.
That's right.
I like that play better, though, going around the tree. I feel like it's a little safer, but the putt's definitely more scary. I don't know if,
Yeah, and that's a full run right there.
I don't
Good
know if
effort.
he's trying to go around that tree, though.
There it is.
That's a solid stroke.
And getting Adam back to 2 under par. Four in a row now for Calvin Heimburg.
Wow.
I like that.
It's a pun I've never played with Calvin's name.
Not enough for the lead on the card, though, as Gannon Buhr moves to 5 under.
Gannon birdie with another one.
That's a good one. Yeah. Whew.
I'll stop. I don't feel like I'm getting much support in the room. I'll let that one go.
What do you got for Linus? Linus Carl birdie. What?
Carl Par. I don't have anything. Linus Carlsson.
Oh, he does have
I do have something.
Right.
Give me some time.
Andrew Miranda, 6 down through 7. Wow.
Whoa. Hey, Chihuahua. What a start.
Funnest hole on the course if there's no headwind. Hole 8, par 3. Check this number out, 567.
And it was shortened by what? 80 feet?
It was a good move by the Pro Tour to shorten this, or the course designer. You do have a scary Mando on the left. If you don't turn your driver over, you can miss that left. That's pretty much the only trouble on the hole, other than the distance. These guys, a few of them are just going to be able to go wide hyzer and get all the way down there.
Yeah, I think certainly we'll see something like that from Buhr. Does get a little flip at the top.
That's a lot
I
of
think
flip.
the wind got him. I don't think he meant for that to happen.
What kind of wind conditions were going on out there?
We had a pretty strong headwind. I played with Drew Gibson. He was not able to put enough hyzer to prevent the flip.
Okay. So let's see if Calvin makes the correction.
It was a lot like this, I think, conditions-wise.
Yeah.
Like Drew put that kind of smoke behind it, and it just went ripping over to the right. Calvin even farther right, and that might be potentially kind of a tricky shot.
I have the world record for longest shot in on this one that I'm proud of. This looks great.
Yeah, this looks really nice.
Oh, baby.
Just short of circle. Yeah, tell them about how far your approach was last year.
I gunned it at 380 in. And I was pin high, so it's not like I just threw it right in the ground.
Was it a roller? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. A roller that just never flipped while flipping, if you catch my drift.
I remember being on the course somewhere, and I remember seeing you and just poking everyone, be like, look where he is, look.
Calvin feels like he's about 380 away from where the other placement was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Give him
rolling around.
Yeah, give him the little love. Gannon probably somehow going to run it with at least he's not putting it, guys. Oh.
And the wind's better over there.
What is that?
The wind is just...
He wants a step putt that bad, huh?
Yeah, I got it, Jerm. I got it.
Not 100% committed, it appears, for Linus. Adam with a chance to make a huge birdie here on hole 8. Oh, boy.
Out nearly the circle's edge on the skip.
Four of them.
Slamma-jamma. Adam from nearly the same distance as Gannon, this one for par as well.
Oh, man.
And the dreaded miss one high, miss one low routine, not what you want.
Yeah, that's the worst when you're, banking on getting to a nice, cool 3 under par.
Find yourself at 1. Mm-hmm. This hole was birdied 8 times on the day. Every single putt coming from inside the circle. Wow. No one making a C2 putt, surprisingly enough. Also, Ricky Wysocki, 3 consecutive birdies on this hole, going back to last year.
That's false. I birdied this hole with a jump putt.
Is it hole Was that hole 8? It doesn't have you as a birdie on this hole.
Well, that's tough. That's a 2-stroke penalty for me.
I'm gonna apologize. I need to keep scrolling down. There were 16 birdies. It was just showing me the 8 there. The other people were all outside the circle. Oh yeah, there's Paul.
Yep.
Going all the way to Kyle Klein at 60 feet. I apologize for that.
Glad I was here.
Yeah, me too.
I nominate this hole for longest 350-foot hole in the world. It just seems so far. This one going slightly uphill the whole way, tight gap for the backhand.
I think this is the most awkward tunnel shot in the world.
Yeah.
Not only is it the longest apparently, but it's just so awkward for disc to look at these guys are the best straight throwers in the world.
Yeah.
And it is just making them look foolish.
And they don't even look really that close, the first two at least. Linus going to try the fit one through with the forehand. That doesn't fit. That doesn't fit at all.
Was that supposed to be up the middle, you think?
I think that's trying to go for the flex, but it just really wasn't close enough to convince me either way. This is more what you're looking for.
There's not much ability for the disc to work back with the wind condition we had.
Yeah.
But up there by that log is mid-circle 2.
Yeah, it's fine. On a day like this, I think that's a good drive.
It just looks like the gap's bigger, but it's just not bigger. And that's a lot of work left from right there, because now he's got that headwind right in his face.
A little shaping to be done here for Linus's approach, and doesn't quite fit it through the gap. Just a touch more Anheuser.
Well, no more locks on his throw there.
Yeah, apparently he's been pretty open about not liking those 160 to 180 foot approaches. It's just a little bit awkward for him.
Huh.
So I think a lot of players struggle with that distance.
Yeah, it's well, I feel like part of the reason is, oh boy, go on a ride, Bubba, is it's not necessary anymore. It's not like that necessary shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
And Calvin will be dropping at least one shot here on the 9th.
As I say that, we always have 180-foot shots, but like when we first started, there was
180-foot holes.
There were 180-foot holes, a lot of them.
Yeah, you come across some weird ones, and you just have to figure out how to get it done.
That's a good putt for the bogey. Yeah, like at the Pro Tour Championships, I like that. A few years back, they left in that short, very tight
200-foot straight shot at Nevin,
and it just gave everybody fits.
Oh, it certainly did.
I remember back in the day, that would have been like just a hole.
Sure.
And a tough one for sure, but it was a shot that a lot of people had.
I love seeing the best players on tour squirm when they stepped up to that hole. It was a really tight gap, and it was danger behind the basket. Got to have touch going into the green, but like you said, it's just not a shot we see so much on tour these days. As you look at the scores, Andrew Miranda still in first place through 9 holes at 6 under. A slew of others at 5 and 4. Good scores on the front 9.
Yeah, I think that's really good. Given the swirly wind, I mean, I think even in calm, 3 under are pretty acceptable on this front 9. So there's some really good golf starting out.
I think we can all agree, though, the front 9 is the scoreable 9 here. Once you get onto the back 9, things get a little bit
tough.
more difficult, and birdies are hard to come by. You won't be surprised to see people go on 7, 8 par streaks in a row with maybe sprinkle in a bogey in there.
Yeah, I think starting with hole 13, the rest of the course, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Hold on.
Every hole is a good birdie, a really good birdie, and it's going to be interesting to see who holds on, who thrives, and who falls back going to the back 9 of round 1.
I don't think anyone will get a birdie after hole 13.
In the whole field.
Hey, let's see how it plays out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Old
it's been a
Uli.
while.
Hey, returns. Hey, man, thank you.
It's been a while,
That was a treat. Thank you to the Founders Club. You just got a real treat from Paul Ulibarri. Throwback. We'll see you in the back 9. 9 more holes coming, first round.